welcome back to Michael Briggs, and today I'm super excited to showcase to you guys my LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars Umbara MOC. Creating this MOC was one of the most interesting things I've built all month in my opinion. And I think the main reason for that is because I think I've pioneered a new way to make terrain in LEGO. Now I might be completely wrong with this statement, but I haven't seen anybody ever use LEGO hands to make terrain in LEGO. That being said, I think it's appropriate to start with the terrain of the MOC. Now I don't think there will be anybody in a very long time that can perfectly nail Umbara, and I don't think I've come close to it at all. There are a ton of MOCs out there that have tried to recreate Umbara. I think the main problem is we never really get to see trees. Trees are the biggest problem. The planet of Umbara is fairly dark and there never is really light, so you never can see exactly how Umbara looks like. And as I said again, I don't think I've nailed it in any way. This MOC was 100% just experimental to see how it looks like. I just wanted to capture a wild looking terrain with some interesting tree shapes. Because I have a lot of these triangled LEGO pieces with clips, I thought it might be interesting to try out these kind of tree builds. And they look really good. Now moving on to the hands that I've loosely placed on the MOC, I have exactly 101 hands loosely placed on the MOC. And I'll be honest, I had to search through my whole LEGO collection to find all those hands. All of the hands you can see on the MOC is basically my whole black hand collection. I maybe have only 20 left in my big bins that I didn't feel like searching just for this small MOC, but I seriously used every single black hand that I had in my collection. I think it turned out really nice. When you look at the MOC from a distance, it really looks like it's part of the terrain, and I really love that. Next up, as I mentioned before, the trees are not exactly accurate. This MOC wasn't meant at all to be accurate. This was just fun and experimental to see how I could create a dark planet-themed area. This isn't necessarily Umbara. I tried to make it look like it, but there aren't any reference images where you can see how Umbaran trees really look like. So I made these small little plants that have these leaflets going off them, and I really like how I built them. The main reason for that, as I mentioned before, is because I had a lot of these triangle pieces. On the side of the MOC, you can also see I added a small little hut. Now this was also something that I find I've added to the collection of Umbara MOCs, is nobody really made a home for Umbarans. Now of course we also never see how Umbarans lived or even how Umbaran families were, which it was a shame because I think it would have been very interesting. I had a lot of these black pieces and I just thought, why not make a burned looking Umbara house? Or house that's been attacked by the clones and almost destroyed. I really like how that looked, and the whole aesthetic of it just fits into the MOC perfectly. I wish I could have some transparent green pieces, because then I could have made some windows that made it even more look like a Umbaran home. But sadly I didn't have those pieces. And also towards the back you can see that I added a dead clone that is bleeding on his hand, which also I used his hand part of the MOC, so he contributed very well. You can also see I added a ATRT, which is part of my ATRT MOC, which I really love how that looked. If you want, you can check out my MOC video about that and also my tutorial. You can also see 3 more clones that are behind and on the sides of the ATRT, and also Captain Rex, which I try to give him the coolest pose that I could imagine. But yeah guys, that summarizes the MOC. I really love how this turned out, and I really wanted to do a 501st based MOC ever since I got so many 501st troopers from my LEGO yard sale haul. The freeform base plate also looks very cool. I love how that turned out as well. Now the terrain that's not including the hands, I think I could have made that a little bit better. Some of these slopes and some of the tiles just don't fit in perfectly. But again, this MOC wasn't meant to accurately represent Umbara. This MOC was mainly meant to be experimental and just see how I could make a really cool looking terrain using LEGO hands. I kind of feel like eating them right now, I'm not gonna lie.